Welcome you all students. Have a question from isometric projection. A right hexagonal prism of side of base 25 mm and altitude 56 mm has a square hole of 20 mm side at the center. The axis of the prism and hole coincide. One of the faces of the square hole is parallel to one of the face of the hexagon. Draw the isometric projection of prism. So this is a given question. For this we need to show the isometric projection. Okay, we need to show the three-dimensional view. Okay, fine. So first try to take the given data. What are the data given here? Hexagonal prism. Am I right? Object is a hexagonal prism. Each side is with 25 mm and altitude height is given as 56 mm. Okay, and then square hole is there. Its size, square hole size, which side is with 20 mm. Okay, and it is been placed at the center. Okay, and condition is been given. Okay, the axis of the prism and hole coincide. One of the face of the square hole is parallel to one of the face of the hexagon. The conditions are there. Let me see in the later time. Okay, so this is the hexagonal prism. We know it has two bases, top base and bottom base. These are the rectangular faces and these are the longer edges. Okay, so before drawing the isometric projection or 3D view, what we have to do is we need to show the 2D features by the help of the orthographic projection method. Okay, so we need to keep the object in the simple position and we need to take the observation of front view and top view. Okay, so here is the object is a hexagonal prism. So I am going to keep the object just on HP with its base. So in the top view, we could able to see the true shape of the object, and in the front view, we could able to see the height of the object. This is a simple position as per the orthographic method, right? So in order to do it, have a reference line X, Y. Above the reference line VP and below it's a HB as per the first angle projection. So in the top view it's a hexagonal true shape. In the top view the true shape can be seen. So hexagon can be seen. We know how to construct the hexagon. With the circular method we used to construct the hexagon. Okay, so you need to go with the same procedure. We are well familiar. So I mean the shortcut manner I am going to bring the shape here, but you needs to follow the same procedure, that is circular method. Okay, so after constructing we will get this shape like this. We will get this shape like this. So this is a hexagon. Okay, when you are having it at the center, naturally you could able to get the center of the hexagon. Okay, fine. So it's a prism, so we will have two bases, top base and bottom base. For the top base, I am going to take A, B, C, D, E and F. We are familiar, when you are looking from the top, bottom base are invisible. So P, Q, R, S, T and U are invisible one. Okay, invisible one. Go to the front view. How will you get the front view? By taking the projectors, right? By taking the projector. So from each and every corners, get the projectors. Okay, get the projector, vertical lines, vertical lines. What about the height of the object? 56. So in the axis, just take 56 mm and have a cut. If you draw a horizontal line through the picked point, you are able to get the top base. Top base. This is how. Note down the corners which all visible in the front view. As far as the top base concerned, A, B, C, D will be visible. A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash will be visible. E and F will be invisible. E invisible and F invisible. Okay. Here comes B dash and F invisible. Okay. And then bottom base concern P, Q, R and S are visible. P, Q, R dash and S dash is visible and T and U is invisible. T is invisible inside the bracket and U is invisible. Take it inside the bracket. Inside the bracket. What is next? Make the dark lines. Here in the top view, true shape is a visible one. So make as a dark one. Dark one. These all the base edges are dark. So dark. And then here comes this edge is a visible. Bottom base visible. Rightmost visible. Top base it's a visible. And this edge is a visible. B to A is a visible. Preference goes to visible edge, dark line. Then C to R is a visible one. Make us a dark one. Okay. What is next? So we have completed the simple position of the hexagonal prism for the hexagonal. We have completed for the hexagonal prism. Am I right? But here we have the square hole. In the hexagonal prism, we have square hole which is drilled through. Okay, drilled through the prism. Am I right? Okay, and the condition is given. The axis of the prism and the hole coincide. For the both prism and the square, the axis is same. And one of the face of the square hole is parallel to one of the face of the hexagon. When you are drilling it, one of the face should parallel with one of the face of the what? The hexagon. So in order to specify it, see, if you have the square hole, when you are having a look from the top, the square hole, the true shape of the square can be seen. Okay. So in the top view, we can place the square. Okay. So here, in order to place it, I going to draw a cross line. Okay, we need to specify at this at the center of the prism. Okay, so for that, through the center, I going to draw the cross lines. So it's a vertical line, and then draw a horizontal line through the center, so that the line will pass something like this. See, this is the square. This is the square. The dimensions of the square is given as 20. So if it is 20, the width also 20. 20, 20. Am I right? So if I take the separation through the center, something like this, I can say from the center it will be 10, and from the center the height will be 10. Am I right? No issues, right? So in that knowledge, in order to keep at the center, I going to take 10 mm in my compass, and from center I going to have a cut. In the vertical lines, cut it. In the horizontal line, from the center, have a cut. Have a cut. So now, what you have to do is, through the cutted point, just draw a vertical line with a very thin manner. Here in the horizontal cut point, draw a vertical line. In the vertical cut point, just go for a horizontal line. In the vertical cut mark, go for a horizontal line. Horizontal 0 degree line. These are a 90 degree line. So this is the square, so go for a dark line, since it can be viewed from the top view. Viewed from the whole can be viewed from the top view, go for a dark line. Okay, give the names. I am going to take this as 1, 2, 3 and this is 4. And invisible edge I am going to take point as 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, what happens to the front view? If you drill a hole at the center, definitely in the front view, It may not be visible to you, but it is present. You need to specify it, right? So for that, take the projector from the top view. So the trace will be like this. Take the projector, so the trace will be like this, but needs to specify as a dashed line. Dashed line. It should be a dashed line. Okay. Take the dashed line. Just take the dashed line. A similar manner for the next, we need to do the dashed line. Okay. So in the projector, go for a dark line. Here as well, the projector, go for a dark line. Okay, fine. What is next? We have placed the square hole as well. So the 2D view of the top view and the front view got completed. So next is a three-dimensional view. It's an isometric projection. Okay. So for that, draw the horizontal line first. In order to draw it, draw a horizontal line. Okay. Specify center. We need to specify the base and top. Okay. Always remember, in the isometric projection, we always go with the box method. Okay. We always go with the box method. So we need to draw the box first, and then we need to go for the prism, okay, or any kind of another object. Okay. So in order to draw the box, we are going to take the boundary in the top view. So for that, at the extreme, go for a horizontal line. Extreme, go for a horizontal line through the outermost edge, and here as well I am going to draw a vertical line. So outermost, you can get a boundary. So for that, I am going to specify 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Roman letter. Okay, the Roman letter. Fine. So first of all, we need to take this boundary to the 3D. Okay, 3D axis, right? So for that, in order to take the 3D axis, I am going to take this as the first. This as first point. Okay. And keep your protractor, all the length and breadth of the object to be taken in the 30-degree line. Okay, all the length and breadth of the object to be taken in the 30-degree line. Okay, so this is first. So from this, measure 30 degree and measure 30 degree in the left and right 30 degree. Measure it. Go for a 30-degree line. Here as well, go for a 30-degree line. So this is how the line will pass on. Okay, 30-degree line. After that, just take the measurement. We are going to fix this boundary over the inclined line. Okay, so take the measurement 1 to 2. What is the measurement? From 1, just have a cut. So this will be 2. From this 1 to 4, take the measurement. Just place here. You will get the fourth one. How will you get the third one? Yes, by taking the measurement from 4 to 3, convey it from 4, just have a cut mark. And then measure it from 2 to 3 and keeping at 2, have a cut mark. Okay. So if you connect it, get the boundary. You will get the boundary. Okay, somewhat like this, you get the boundary. So this is the that. What is next? We need to form the the box first. What about the prism height? Prism height is 56. So form the box with the height 56. So from the each and every corners, rise up a line. It's a 90-degree line. It's a 90-degree line like this. Take the measurement of 56 in your compass. From each and every corners, have a cut. So here will be one cut. If you do it from here, you will get another cut. Here you will get another cut. From here, if you read it from 3, approximately here you'll get another cut. Connect it, you could able to get the box. Remove all the unwanted lines from the object so that you can avoid the confusions. After creating it, just rub it all the unwanted lines. So this is the top base and this is the bottom base for the box. So in the top base we need to specify the top base feature of the hexagonal prism. In the bottom base of the box you need to specify the bottom base features of the hexagonal prism. Okay, in the top base we have noted as A, B, C, D, and the bottom base P, Q or S. Okay, so in the bottom we can start from the bottom base. Bottom base is the P, Q or S. So see, this P is marked between 1 and 4. Where is 1 and 4? Here is 1 and here is 4. Take the measurement 1 to A. What is the measurement? Have a cut mark from 1 so that you will get P. In the isometric projection, you need to specify with a capital letter, not with a small letter. In the orthographic, we will be specifying with a small letter, but here it is a capital letter. Okay, and then where is Q? Between 1 and 2. Take the measurement in your compass from 1, convey it, so that from 1 convey it, so you will get Q. R, where is it? From 2, just convey it so that you get R. Where is S? Between 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Take the measurement from 3 or from 1, convey it, you will get capital S. Where is T? T and U? Between 3 and 4. 3 and 4 line is here. Take the measurement, convey it, you get T. Take the measurement from 4 to U. What is the measurement? From 4, just convey it so that you will get U. Okay. If you connect all those peak points, you could able to see the bottom base trace. Could able to get the bottom base. The similar procedure should be followed at the top. Top base A, B, C, D, E, F. A is between 1 and 4. For your understanding, I am taking the same names at the top. This is 3 and this is 4. Between 1 and 4, A. Take the measurement, convey it so that you will get A. B and C is between 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Take the measurement from with respect to 1 and. If you take from 1, just convey it from 1, you will get B. Take the measurement from 2 to C, the measurement, and from 2, just convey it, C. D is between 2 to 3. Take the measurement 1 to D, and between 2 to 3. So take the measurement 2 to D. What is the measurement? From 2, convey it, so you will get D. E and F is between 3 and 4. So take it from 3. What is the measurement for E and convey it? You get capital E. Where is F? In the same line, take the measurement 4 to F. What is the measurement? Convey it. So you will get F. Okay. So if you connect all those peak to point, you could able to get the trace of the hexagon at the top face. The top face. Okay. Next, for the hexagon top base and bottom base, we have identified all the longer edges are there. As far as this hexagon is concerned, 6 longer edges are there, right? So connect those things so that it will be easy. Where is the connection? See, A to B, longer edge, and B to Q, there is a longer edge, and C to O, there is a longer edge, D to S, there is a longer edge, E to T, there is a longer edge, F to U, there is a longer edge. So I am going to connect with a thin line A to P, B to Q, C to R, D to S, E to T, and then F to U as a longer edge. So connect it with a very thin line. Okay. Now at the center of the prism we have a square hole. We need to specify it. Okay. The object is being placed when you are taking the isometric projection. We used to keep the object at 30 degree, length and breadth as 30 degree. So the object will be something like this, so that in the top base the square hole will be visible. Okay, so we need to capture it on the top, right? So in order to capture the square hole, the same principle, the same procedure which follow it in the orthographic view of the top view, here we need to follow in the 3D view. That means first of all you need to draw the cross line. Okay, cross line. So that means in the top base we're going to follow it. Okay, so in order to get the top cross line, just get the midpoint of each and every sides. Get the midpoint for each and every side and go for a cross line. So the cross line will be something like this. We know from the center this side is with the 10 mm. So from the center have a cut, have a cut, have a cut, have a cut. Okay. After it, just draw a parallel line with respect to the boundary line. So to the cut line have a parallel line, and for this have a parallel line. For this have a parallel line 1 to 2. Have a parallel line. Okay, so that could able to identify the corners of the square hole. As far as the front view is concerned, when you are looking from the front, here in the orthographic, I can say 1, 2 and 5 and 6 will be invisible one. It's an invisible edge, right? So 1 invisible, 2 invisible and 5 is invisible. Sorry, looking from the front, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 will be invisible. 1, 2, then 3 and 4 will be invisible. You need to mark here. And then in the bottom base, 5, 6 and 7 and 8 will be invisible here. 5, 6, 7 and 8 will be invisible. All the lines are invisible. That also you need to specify in the front view. Okay, fine. So here, so this would be the 1, this would be the 2, this would be 3 and this would be the 5. So 1, 2, 3 and this would be the 4. Okay, and the edge or edge 5, 6, 7 and 8 will be invisible. It's a through hole, so it comes the inside of the object. Okay, let me see what are the portions are visible in the isometric view. Okay, we have to come from the top always. When you are keeping the object 30 degree, length and width as 30 degree, always the top base will be a visible one. So features at the top should be a dark one. So A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E and F to A should be a dark line. Okay, and there is a square hole. This square hole concern 4 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 is a dark line. Okay, other all the lines are construction line, so it should be a very thin line. Only the portions which I have shown should be a dark one. Okay, and then come to the extreme of left. Okay, it should be a dark one. Always for any view there will be a boundary, so extreme portion, extreme longer edge, you need to make as a dark one. When you are coming to the bottom base, partially it will be visible. The portion at the front face it will be visible, the portion which is at the rear face it will be invisible. So between the extreme longer edges at the bottom can make as a dark one. Okay, afterwards between the longer edges in the front face, what are the edges are visible? what are the edges are present, it should be a dark one. That means A to P dark one, B to Q is a dark one. Okay. So one more thing is there, when you are looking, when you are having the isometric projection at the top base, when you are keeping the object something like this, okay, at 30 degree, the square hole, the extreme edge will be visible. So what we have to do is just have a 90-degree line from the point 3, drop it down, okay, it should be a vertical line. That particular edge will be visible, okay, fine. And then as far as projection of isometric concern, we should not mark any hidden edges, okay. What are things are visible, you need to mark as a dark one. Just like orthographic method, you should not capture a dashed lines, okay. Only the visible edges should be captured on your profile, okay, fine. So then you can mark the dimensions. You should not mark the dimension over the isometric view, only how to capture it on the 2D views, okay, fine. First start with the smaller dimension. The square is with 20 mm side, so get the line something like this and right above the line 20 mm, and then side of the hexagon is with 25 mm, so just have a line and right above the line as 25 in a neat manner. And then what about the height of the object? Height of the object 56, so note as a 56 right above it, okay, fine. Any other dimensions are there? No, right? All the dimensions we have marked. Take the note at the bottom base, at the bottom, all dimensions or in mm. So here we need to specify the scale. The given asked question is isometric projection. So we need to specify the isometric scale. If it is isometric view, we can specify the scale as 1:1 if it is a true scale. If it is reduced, we have to have a node according to the change. It's a isometric projection. What we have to do is we need to fix the isometric scale here. So in order to specify it, have a horizontal line, okay, and then if I take this as A and if I take this as B, from the A end just go for a 15-degree line like this, and from the B end, like keeping your protractor, take the 45-degree line. So the line will coincide something like this. That's it. So this is how the things will be, okay, and then divide the line AB with the equal divisions. Can be any divisions. I'm going to take this as 2, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now to specify it, just go for a parallel line from 4, from 3 and 2, 1 and 0. It should be a 45-degree line, okay. And afterwards, when you are having the line which intersect with a 50-degree line, it should be mentioned as 4 dash, this is 3 dash, this is 2 dash, 1 dash, this is 0 dash, okay. If I take this as A, B and I can take this third one as C, okay. So at the bottom base, this is the true length, this is the true length. So take the note as true length, okay, and then A to C, which is a isometric length. Isometric length. Also specify the inclinations of the lines, okay. This is with 15 degree, we have drawn with a 50 degree line, right? So take as 50 degree, and this is a 45 degree. So take a note as a 45 degree. Okay. So this is the representation of what? Isometric projection. Okay. Scale. I hope you understood how to draw the three-dimensional diagram. Okay. Thank you so much.